In this video, we are taking a look at the Nano Portable Espresso Machine by OutIn. Full disclosure, OutIn did send me the Nano and some accessories to go along with it for this video, but they're not paying me for this review and they don't get to see it before you do. Typically, I'm not usually into travel or portable coffee gear like this. Don't get me wrong, I like the idea of it and I think the concept for a lot of these products is great, but a lot of times it's more hassle than it's worth and you don't always get the best coffee. With some of those pieces of gear, you have the hassle of needing a surface to prep everything on or even pull a shot on. You need to bring a kettle with you, a grinder with you, all those sorts of things that make travel coffee a little bit less easy and a little bit less efficient. The Nano doesn't alleviate all of those issues, but it does alleviate enough of those issues to where it's been more enjoyable for me to use out in the real world. It has a built-in water chamber that holds up to 80 milliliters of water, a heating element, and a pump, so pressurizing, containing, and heating your water is all done in one compact device. You will, of course, need to have your own grinder to bring with you if you want fresh ground coffee, or you could pre-grind coffee to bring with you if you want. Or the Nano also uses the more common espresso pods for a lot of the popular espresso, countertop machines out there that utilize pods. So if you wanted to pre-grind your coffee or do a pod and not bring anything with you other than potentially water, if you're not going to have that wherever you're traveling to, then the Nano is a really great option for that. I'm not into pods or pre-grinding coffee if I can avoid it, so I'm always going to opt to bring some kind of a grinder with me to be able to grind my coffee fresh, but just know it does support those types of things if you want to use it that way and not have to really bring anything extra with you on your travels. So far, I've enjoyed using the Nano out in the real world. I haven't had any issues with its durability or quality or anything like that. So far, I'm really pleased with it. As far as power and charging goes, the Nano uses a 90-watt 7500 milliamp hour battery, which is built into the unit, which is really nice. However, I do wish it lasted a little longer from a full charge. If you're using room temperature or cold water with the Nano and it has to use the heating element to heat up that water to pull your shot, it is going to draw a lot more power than if you're not using the heating element, and there is an option to do that using a manual shot mode. From a full charge, using the heating element to heat up your water, you're only able to get about 4 to 5 shots out of this using the standard 5 to 6 gram included basket. If you're using the Basket Plus basket, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes, which uses 15 to 18 grams of coffee, you're only going to get about 2 to 3 shots out of it if you're using room temperature or cold water that the heating element has to then heat up. I'll talk more about the Basket Plus accessory kit here in a minute because I think it's a game changer and kind of the only way to use the Nano if you're more of a coffee enthusiast. Like I mentioned, there is a function to bypass the heating phase and go straight to pressurizing and pulling a shot if you're using your own hot water from a kettle. However, it does require you to have to bring a kettle or have hot water wherever you're going. Some of you may not have a problem with that. I think it sort of takes away from the thing that makes the Nano cool and sort of stands it apart from some other portable espresso machines by having a built-in heating element like this. But if you wanted to use it that way, OutIn claims you can get over 100 shots using the manual brew and using your own hot water and not engaging the heating element. As I mentioned earlier, there is an upgraded accessory kit called the Basket Plus to accompany the Nano that you have to buy separately. But in my opinion, again, it's really the only way to use the Nano if you're more of a coffee enthusiast. It allows you to use 16 to 18 grams dose, which is more reminiscent of typical espresso shot size versus the 5 to 6 gram standard basket that comes with the Nano. The Basket Plus kit includes the larger basket I've already mentioned, and it's metal instead of plastic like the standard Nano basket. It has a much nicer metal collar to thread into the Nano to secure the basket, a nice metal dosing funnel and tamp, and a little needle distribution tool to break up any clumps in your coffee grounds and get a more even extraction. Whether you're using the standard single dose basket or the Basket Plus kit, just dose your coffee into the basket, break up any clumps you might see, tap it a little bit to even out the coffee bed, and then tamp. After that, you're gonna install the lid on the basket. Don't forget to do this. I've almost forgotten to do this a couple times, and I think if you forget, it would probably create quite a mess. Screw the basket assembly onto the body of the Nano, and now you're ready to pull a shot. If you're using cold or room temperature water, you're gonna press the button on the Nano for 2 seconds until you hear it beep, and then it's gonna heat up to pull the shot. During the heat up phase, you're gonna see the progress indicated on these 4 LED lights on the front of the Nano. Once the water's hot and ready to go, all 4 lights will be illuminated, it will beep, and it'll start pressurizing to pull a shot, so make sure you have your cup ready to go. If you're using your own hot water from the kettle, all you need to do is double press the power button quickly, and it will bypass the heating phase and immediately start pressurizing to pull a shot. After having the Nano for a little bit and getting used to it, I've been getting really enjoyable shots with it, and it's been fun to use. Being able to travel and make good espresso with a small, compact, and lightweight piece of gear like this is actually pretty cool. I think the Nano checks a lot of boxes for me and other coffee enthusiasts, and especially checks a lot of boxes for people that maybe aren't as much of a coffee enthusiast and don't mind, again, using the pods or the pre-ground coffee. It's also sort of changed my mind a little bit on how I feel about travel or portable coffee gear, at least in this particular scenario. If you're interested in picking up the Nano, I put a link to their site and a 10% off discount code in the description for you to check out. Thanks again to OutIn for sending me the Nano and the Basket Plus accessory kit to check out and to share with you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.